Mystic Michaela spiritual family. Welcome to Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. Today, I am talking with Nancy Anderson, who's a celebrity trainer and nutritionist. And we're talking about how she had an amazing spiritual experience that totally changed the course of her life. And we're going to talk about your experiences that have similarly happened to you. But hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
What's going on?
All right, so we have Nancy here today.
Yes.
And we have her in the green room.
Green room.
As we do with all our guests. And apparently she's brought a treadmill.
Oh, great.
How'd you get that in the house?
She's very strong.
And a lot of, I think they're called kettlebells.
Okay.
Is that the right term for them?
Possibly.
Like,
that
yeah,
sounds
like
right.
weights with when you hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's doing some like bent over row squats.
Great.
Yeah.
I know that move. The bent over row squat.
Right.
Quadruple.
I've done it a few times. Actually, she wanted me to join her, but I told her I got to do the show.
Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out to her and her husband, Max, before we start. When we were just starting out, they were a huge sponsor of the show.
Yes.
When we, basically didn't know what we were doing. And I believe they sponsored 10 episodes.
Yeah. When we first started, we had to pay for our own episodes. And Nancy and Max, oh my gosh.
So they kept KYA going. They might have also supported KYI. I'm not sure. We can ask Nancy in a minute. But we really want to thank. Really grateful for them. And Max called me and I had a whole conversation with him about it in the beginning.
Yeah.
And and then he made the offer and I was like, okay.
You're like, yeah. Like it took such a weight off our shoulders at the beginning when we had to pay for each individual episode.
Right. Just to keep it going. We had no idea what we were doing. So really want to thank them for that. And
yes.
We are forever grateful to Nancy and her husband, Max. But
you had some backlash from last week's episode, Scott. I've never seen the likes of this.
Yeah. I mean, I got some seriously mean DMs.
Like Jimmy Kimmel's mean tweets, but you got mean DMs.
Yeah.
The misophonia episode just sent people after you.
So I promise this time I'm not going to drink or chew or slurp.
You learned your lesson.
I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I mean, I got death threats.
Oh, my God.
Now... Yeah, and I just want to can I read a few of these to you? I mean, I'm going to go through them.
Okay.
It's really easy for me because I only get like 4 a week.
Okay.
So
yeah, so you're reading the mean DMs.
Yeah, these are DMs. I haven't even looked at them yet. But,
oh wow, from the misophonia episode last week.
Yeah, they're in my other box. And all right, well here's the first one.
Okay.
Let me open this one. Boop.
Your DM box in Instagram makes a sound mine doesn't make.
Yeah, I have a setting.
Okay.
Hey, Scott, you suck. You ruined KYA. Hope you have to spend your weekend being with Tyler Cameron, jerk.
Ouch. Ooh. That's a harsh one.
That is.
Man, I felt their rage.
Yeah. Like Tyler Cameron, I got to hang out with Tyler and Matt. I got to take my shirt off.
Oh, my gosh.
And those guys are like...
short shorts, hold puppies.
Yeah. And they're really buff, and I got to get into like a big wrestling pile with them.
Bitcoin. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, that's not nice. Okay.
All right, well, what's the next one?
Thank you for that, I guess.
I mean, are you okay? I mean, can you read another one?
All right, I can handle it.
Okay. I mean, only if you can handle it. All right, go ahead.
All right, this is a second DM I got. Stop freaking chewing and slurping. Even Petro Hanchar hates you.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. That's a low blow.
Petro Hanchar hates me.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. That one, that
hurts
a lot.
I can tell you're affected by that one.
I feel like I feel like I even hate myself here.
Oof. Okay.
All right.
Maybe. Are you sure you're okay to read this?
Yeah, I'm okay. But this one has a check mark next to it.
It's a verified account?
A verified account. I never, other than you, I never get verified accounts.
Oh, my gosh.
Sometimes Christina Schulman will, but other than that, from Bachelor, she's amazing. I never get verified accounts. So let me see okay. It's a verified account from a member of Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, no.
It's an eggplant pic.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Eggplant pic.
Oh.
They heard from the last time.
Okay. I don't know. That could be positive. Maybe that's not a mean
there was no hate
DM.
with it. It just
it is what it is.
It was a picture.
Okay.
And there was it was that, and then there was a couple like drinks next to it. And, and a bowl of pretzels.
It's just chilling.
Yeah.
All right.
So they combined that. All right. Let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
All right. And this is my last DM. Thank God. Okay.
Oof.
Okay. Why do you even exist?
Whoa.
I'd rather listen to an auto-tuned queef played on a continuous loop than listen to another episode of you on KYA.
That is like creative?
Really creative. Sometimes people even say that about Ariana Grande's music. Okay, so let's move on from these, and I'm out of DMs anyway. That's all I get. That's all I get. I only get 4.
How do I segue into anything after that?
You can't. Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
Well, let's do this unnatural segue. Here we go. Yeah. So I'm going to be talking to Nancy about an amazing out-of-body experience she had that totally changed the path of her career. And I wanted to talk about what that might look like in general when your angels talk to you, and even sometimes on the loved ones on the other side, and just a quick little run through. And I've gone through these in the past. I've gone through kind of like how spirit talks to you. And one of the things I've noticed is they tend to get you when you're low, okay? They tend to get you kind of when you're on the down and outs. And I feel like that's because you're vulnerable at those times. And it's kind of like when life sucker punches you, like enough, you are willing to open your eyes and I guess take more truth than you would when you're in the high times. So it's low times that usually your angels and your loved ones on the other side can come through and give you some life path messages. And they're usually just about sticking to your soul contract, but it's really important. And I just want to touch on this before I get into different types of angel signs. There's something called spiritual obsession. And it simply means that the answers are in you. I really try to hit this home on the podcast. All the answers, they're in you. And anything that you hear has to resonate and reverberate in your own self. So constantly seeking external validation or external experiences or external anything to feed what you need to do next. So for example, like looking for signs, I'm not saying that we make huge life decisions based on the signs that we find. We make huge life decisions because we feel something in us and the signs reinforce it or make us trust ourselves better. So it's never going to be something that you find outside of yourself. It's something that just rings more true in yourself. And when I talk about signs and I talk about spiritual obsession, it means like, please trust yourself first, always, not what I'm saying, not what other people say, not the things does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thank you, Scott. I need you to so I'm not talking to myself.
No, it makes complete sense.
Yeah. All right. So the first thing is dreaming of angels or dreaming of your spirit guides. I know, Scott, when I started on my spiritual journey, I was waking up all the time like, oh my God, like I had this experience, I had that experience, this was crazy. I heard voices, people, like I was being touched in the middle of the night. And yet, even if that's not happening to you, it's okay because like you don't remember your dreams, you always say.
Only the one with Michael Strahan.
I know, that was the last one. Maybe he's your guardian angel.
He could be.
But your soul is more awakened when you're dreaming. So it's easier for spirit to kind of come in and get you in your subconscious and get you when you're on an astral plane or when you're kind of feeling out of body or whatever. So if you don't like remember your dreams, it's a good idea to ask your angels before you go to sleep, like, please help me remember, keep a journal next to your bed and really try to take these experiences and I don't know, like sometimes they can be very stressful in your dream state or in your sleep state, or you have disturbed sleep when you're going through something. And it's because your angels really do work a lot with you in your dreams or in that state. So you can ask them to help you remember them. Another thing is orbs. Okay, angel orbs. You can see these in pictures now. Listen. There's always, I think, on the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family page, a lot of us like to post our orb photos. And some of them, it's like, okay, that's something. And then some of them, it's obvious. It's like, okay, that's just the glare from the sun or whatever. But orbs in photos, or actually seeing orbs yourself, those are a sign of angel presence.
Well, there was actually one weird one with the orbs. You did a party for a group of ladies.
Yes, I forgot about this.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was 5 or 6 women, and it was a lot of mediumship going on and everything. And at the end, we took a group photo.
Yes.
And there was an orb under each person.
Okay, so...
that you read.
Yes, because what happened was every person at the party had lost somebody.
Right.
And one person lost 2 people. And I believe, I could be wrong, but that's what I think there was like 6 total...
Yeah.
People who crossed over that came through in readings. And then at the end, when we took that shot, and you took a bunch of pictures, same lighting, same position, same time, and only one of them had 6 orbs in the photo. One, and even one of the ladies said, like, oh my gosh, that's one for each of the people that came through.
Right.
Yeah, so that was really special. So, I think, again, using your logical mind with your spiritual open-minded sense and your soul, it's important for these things. So it's real and it's not just something you're making up to, make yourself feel better or whatever, because that's important. But yeah, orbs. another thing, and sometimes I hesitate saying this stuff because one, it sounds crazy, and two, it could be also a sign of an underlying medical condition. But I see sparkles and orbs sometimes. I'll see I'll see them at certain times in my life, and I call it my spirit sparkles. And when it happens, I know that I'm supposed to be paying attention, or I'm receiving a message, or they're just saying, we're with you right now. Now, if that's happening to you a lot, it could be signs of all sorts of things. So you obviously always have to take in consideration like medical advice and speak to your doctors and stuff like that. But it is also a thing that I personally experience. And I know other people do too. You can kind of see them in like light in your eyes. I call it my spirit sparkles. They look like sparkles. Okay, feathers.
They do have ophthalmologists.
I know. And that's the thing. No, it's true. No, you're right. Like, that's true. And I don't want people like, oh my gosh, and it could be like an eye issue you have or something, or something neurological going on. So you always have to take these things with a grain of salt and the whole context. That's why I always hesitate, because I don't want anybody hurting themselves or ignoring something. But that's a thing.
Yeah.
White feathers. Now, you can't like go visit a bunch of chickens at the petting zoo and being like, oh my God, spirit angels everywhere. That's so funny. Or spirit messages, but white feathers out of context, that's a big angel message. It's just trying to say, I'm here, I'm with you. The trick is try to find that unexpected one and just have an open mind to, okay, what's next? And that's another thing. When I get an angel symbol, I always say like, okay, give me another one, give me a follow-up sign, or let me have another one to let me know. And I will tell you, when angels want to talk to you, they are pushy. But you have to be open-minded and you have to believe it. And then it gets stronger too. Okay. Sweet scents, floral smells, cinnamon smells, food sometimes. I mean, this could be also, cause I get this with, there's something, it's called psychic smelling. There's like a more fancy word for it, but this is a skill a lot of you have and you don't know it, where you can smell things that aren't existing, and that can be a sign from a loved one on the other side. But sometimes if it's floral or sweet, it can be your angels. So there is a psychic smelling thing that can happen when your angels are near or loved ones on the other side. Like if you smell cigars or something, grandpa liked coffee, things like that, and you smell it. Okay. Babies and pets, they can see things you don't see, and you notice them kind of looking out, looking into, your pets, your kids. If they're seeing things you're not seeing, just assume somebody's there and then ask for a follow-up sign. Angel clouds. I think we've all seen shapes in the clouds, especially at pivotal times in our lives. Maybe it means something. It's just another way you can get called. Nature's a wonderful sign. Angel numbers, you might see 1111 on the clock, then on a street sign, then on your receipt. Then it's like, if it's following you, it means something. And currently I'm channeling a book about angel numbers right now, and it's been absolutely ridiculous. Like the synchronicities and the stuff I'm getting. They love writing in numbers. It's a universal language. It's a high vibration frequency that they can tap into with numeric codes. Temperature changes, warm, cold, all of a sudden, no reason for it. Voices, okay. And we're going to talk about this with Nancy. But I've heard voices, it's, again, it can also be a sign of other things. Sometimes I'll also hear like a high-pitched ringing noise in my ear, and I know it has to do with my angels. They're telling me to pay attention. This is just because over many years and a lot of ruling out with other causes it could be, I know that it's my angels talking to me, but it's like a high-pitched, high-frequency sound. When they try to talk to you, sometimes they can't, because they're such high vibrational beings. It's hard for them to connect in a regular way. So it's just something to make note of. And again, if you don't understand them, you're like, hey guys, what are you trying to say to me? Wait for it. Wait for more messages. They will clarify themselves. Physical sensations, tingling on the crown of your head, going down. There's spirit tingles, I call them. They start at the crown of your head and they spread through you. That is a sign that your angels are near, you're downloading information, or something is resonated big time with you. Music, they will talk to you in lyrics. They will speak to you in selections. Loved ones on the other side will do this too. And coins. Finally, coins. Loved ones on the other side. My grandpa talks to me with coins, but there are angels messages with coins. Count the coins when you get them. Maybe you see a dime and a penny. Oh, 11 cents, 11 again. There it is again. Just different ways they try to get your attention. And animals, you can ask too, like, I'd like to see a snake, or I'd like to see, for me, it's a hummingbird. Whatever your spirit symbol is in terms of animals, let them send it to you and believe it when you see it.
Well, a lot, as you were going through these, a lot of these have happened to me.
Yes?
Just the other day, I lit a cinnamon candle.
Oh my gosh. And you smelled cinnamon.
I smelled cinnamon.
Wow.
Feathers. I do see them all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, once I had one, I found one, it was signed even. Clarence. It was signed by Clarence.
By Clarence.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tingling.
Yeah.
The other day I tried this new shampoo.
Yep.
My head was like
the eucalyptus.
Tingling. Yeah. But, all right. So, that's amazing. You know what? I'm going to tell you what.
Yeah.
I think I actually do have a story. Let's go through 2 ads.
Okay.
And then let's come back. I'm going to tell a story where maybe my angels were my guardians or were speaking to me, and we'll get some of the MMSF members' stories too.
Let's do that. Hey, Scotty, you've been looking real dapper lately.
True. I got my Stitch Fix.
You got your Stitch Fix? Stitch Fix works for women, men, and kids. And we got you a Stitch. And let me tell you, you've been looking real fancy.
It's been looking good. I'm in love with my stylist.
Yes?
Yep. He's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. You can pick your stylist. You can switch up your stylist. You talk to your stylist.
I do.
You messaged him. You said exactly what you wanted.
Sure do.
Yeah.
We have plans to go to a Jimmy Buffett concert.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
You're very close with him.
We've become very close over the fixes. Because they send them to you.
They do.
When you want to. When you want them.
Yeah, you can stop at him at any time.
I've been ordering more because I want to talk to him.
I know.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Well, anyways, shopping for new clothes can be needlessly stressful, especially if you're an empath like me and you really don't like going out and figuring out what's looking good on you these days. So why not let Stitch Fix make it easy by doing the work for you so you can spend time doing the things you love instead. Plus, it's a wonderful surprise. And let me tell you, they have helped me redefine my Zoom casual look. I always have a cute blouse on when I'm doing my Mystic Michaela discussions or meetings or readings or things like that. Stitch Fix offers clothing hand-selected by expert stylists for your unique size, style, and budget. It's a completely different and fun way to find clothes that you will love to wear. Like, seriously, I am very picky about jeans. Every pair of jeans, and you'd think this is like not going to work. It works. They ask you a lot of questions about your jeans, and then they listen and they get it right. And every single pair of jeans and jean shorts I've gotten and leggings have worked on me. Every piece is chosen for your fit. That's why. And your life. And it's the easy solution to finding what makes you look good and feel your best. Try on pieces at home before you buy. And you know what? You keep what you love and you return what you don't. Stitch Fix has free shipping, easy peasy returns and exchanges, and a prepaid return envelope is included. There is no subscription required. Try Stitch Fix once, or you can set up automatic deliveries. You'll pay just a $20 styling fee for each box, which gets credited towards any pieces that you keep. And there are no hidden fees ever. Stitch Fix has styles and clothing to fit any occasion. You can say, I have an interview, or I want to have a new workout look, or like whatever. For women, men, or kids, they ship all over the U.S. and it's available in the U.K. as well. So, hey, great deal here. Get started at stitchfix.com/KYA and you'll get 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. That's stitchfix.com/KYA for 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. stitchfix.com/KYA. Thank you so much for using our code KYA. Oof, I got to tell you. Function of Beauty, I can't even go through, if I had to rank my favorite scents, because I tried a new scent, and it's rose. So my overall favorite was lavender. Then it was eucalyptus, but now it's rose, and then eucalyptus. I've tried peach. Which is your favorite? They've all been amazing to me.
I love the apricot gin blossoms.
Okay, that doesn't exist.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe that's a 90s scent that they had from the 90s.
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is.
These are just some of the amazing scents, except what Scott just said, available with Functions of Beauty's customized shampoo and conditioner. Your perfect hair is voluminous, full, and shiny. And now it can smell good, too, because Function of Beauty's custom hair makes sure you don't neglect the most powerful of your body's senses. Function of Beauty is a world leader in fully customized hair care. They create your unique formula based on a short but thorough quiz to give your hair everything it needs to look and feel its best. Hey, every product is sulfate and paraben-free, vegan, cruelty-free, and there are over 60,000 real 5-star customer reviews. And Function of Beauty fans are absolutely wild about the fragrances. I am so wild about them. And for good reason. Your hair has never smelled so amazing. Try tropical mango, sweet peach, crisp pear, or subtler scents such as lavender, rose, and eucalyptus. I've tried all those. They're amazing. If fragrance is not for you, that's okay. You can get unscented as well. You know what I love to do? I love to take the children and I love to just lather their hair up with the shampoo and comb it through with the conditioner. And then they have these wonderful hair masks you can get too. And I love to let their hair sit in that. And then they have serum, so I put that in too. And oh my gosh, the kids smell so good. I can't even tell you. I don't know. Maybe that's a mom thing. I just love it. And they let me do it. And it's like, I call it mommy spa. That's what I do. So turn your beauty routine into an aromatherapy session, a tropical getaway even. Go to functionofbeauty.com/KYA to take your quiz and save, 20% on your first order. That applies to their full range of customized hair, skin, and body products. That's functionofbeauty.com/KYA to let them know you heard about it here and to get 20% off your order. I'll tell you, the rose, I just tried it. Rose scent, so good. functionofbeauty.com/KYA.
All right, so nope, she's not ready yet. She is now currently doing a burpee / I think you call it a lunge, mountain climber, all while on the treadmill.
Wow.
Yeah. And she said she could teach me that. So,
okay.
Hold on, I just got another DM.
Oh, no. Scott, you don't have to keep reading these.
I know. I never get DMs. I get like 5 a week. Now I got 6 a week. So
you're getting canceled.
Your angels will never come visit you.
Wow.
Try doing a 10-minute meditation underwater.
Ouch.
Do you want me to drown?
That's harsh, man.
That's bad.
You triggered them with your chewing.
I sure did.
All right. Oof. All right. Well, anyways, you actually do have a really crazy, life-changing story that happened to you with interference from the other side. Please tell.
Yeah, I don't usually think about these things. Like I was making a joke earlier that Clarence from It's a Wonderful Life came and gave me his feather, but
right,
and that did happen. But I guess I can think of a time, and you kind of jog my memory. You'll have to jog my memory a little bit.
Yes, I'll help you.
I was actually I was working at Domino's, and I finally quit.
Right,
best years that I had, other than these, and. I went and lived back home. So, I had been used to being on my own. I went away to college and grad school, and I lived on my own for a long time, and I had to go back home.
You're like 25.
25.
Yeah.
And then I got a job teaching in inner city school.
Mm-hmm. You liked it.
And I liked it, yeah. It was really good, and I did that for a year, or most of that year. And then the next year...
you got, laid off.
I got laid off.
Yeah.
Like 2 months into the year, or about a month into the school year, I got laid off. And I was unemployed for a while.
Yeah.
So, times were a little bit tough then.
I have to kind of
you can
fill people in on what depressed Scotty looks like. Depressed Scotty doesn't speak. And we were long distance, so I was in Buffalo, and you moved back home to Long Island to move in with your parents. So you were depressed about that, and then you didn't have a job, and then there were no prospects for you, and you were home every day.
Hey, I was bagging leaves for $1 a bag.
Okay, your parents gave you chores like you were 12.
But they paid me.
They did. Yeah, they did.
They also had I didn't have a credit card. I had an index card.
Oh my gosh, you need to explain that.
Yeah, so most people, put things on a credit card. I didn't have one. My parents made me an index card.
Yeah.
And because I had really no money. They wrote I wrote it. They trusted me. I'm not going to give away a couple secrets here. But if I wanted to go get a slice of pizza, literally,
yes,
if I wanted to go
remember the card.
A slice of pizza, because that's what you do in Long Island. You get pizza, you get a pie. They'd put it on the card.
They'd give you your $3 to go get your slice, and then you'd have to put that in the card. Pizza, this date, $3.
Yeah.
And your index card was long. But they were paying bigger things too, like your car payment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they were expecting you to pay them back once you got work again.
Right. So I had this card littered with things like little charges and stuff.
Yeah. And by the way, because we got off a few days ago talking about your big stock market wins. This is when remember?
Yes.
Because we were talking about when I met you, you had all the stock market money, and then we told that story. I forget what episode that was. It was a few, but it was all gone now.
Right.
So you were in bad spot in your life.
Right.
You were 25. And so I would call, because we were long distance, there were no cell phones back then. we're aging ourselves. So I had to call your house phone, and I couldn't call before 9 p.m. because at 9 p.m. it was like lights out at your house. You were under rules like that because you were living at home. So I'd call and I'd be like, "Hi, this is Megan. Is Scott available?" And then like you would just it's not that you didn't want to talk to me, it's just you didn't want to talk. So like you would put the phone by your ear, but no, you wouldn't talk because you were sad. And then I think your family felt bad for me, so like I'd talk to your sister and I'd talk to your dad, I'd talk to your mom, like they'd pass the phone around the house, then it'd come back to you and it was just like silence. So you were in a really bad spot is my point. And it was sad. Everybody felt bad for you.
So so then I decided, so one day my parents were going to visit my grandparents who had passed, Grandma June and Papa Irving, and at their, at the cemetery. I can't even talk about it. They're going to come through. That's the problem.
I know. Your grandpa's coming.
Doing with this bit.
I know. I'm getting all sweaty.
And, I had to be in bad shape because they're buried in the cemetery on Staten Island. So if you go to Staten Island, if you live down there, that's just bad. Going to Staten Island, just bad.
You just lost so many Staten Island people.
We did. People seen the movie King of Staten Island, right? It's just like that. Anyway.
So anyways.
But we went to the, so I went to the cemetery and, after everyone left and everyone went back to the car, I went back to the grave site and, usually I don't do these kind of things. I said a few words, whatever, blah, 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 blah. You did like a little prayer, whatever you call it. And, they were Orthodox Jews, my grandparents. So, you're supposed to put like a stone on their, on
their headstone.
On their headstone. Yeah.
God, it's okay.
When these things happen. Aww. And so I did that. And then, I left. Not thinking of anything of it, whatever.
Yeah. It was a low time for you and you did that, right.
So then it was weird, like a day or two later, I remember I was at my cousin Lenny's house. Cousin Lenny, I love Cousin Lenny.
Yes.
I don't know if he listens to the podcast or not, but if you do, Cousin Lenny, you know I love you. And my mom called and she said, some rabbi from a school
That's crazy.
left these messages for you. And I'm like, okay, all right.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. And I think I might have even called 2 times before I called them back.
Right. Wow.
And she said, "Well, call them back already. What are you doing? Just call him back. See what he wants."
Right.
And I'm like, "All right." So I called him back, and he was like a head of a school, a religious school, and they needed a position for a social studies teacher to teach world history.
Yeah.
And European history.
And it was like a Jewish school.
It was a Jewish school. Yeah.
It was a private. Like, was it Orthodox? Is that what you call it? What do you call it?
I would call it like modern Orthodox.
Okay.
Like they weren't as,
Grandparents would have approved.
Yeah.
I would have said, yeah.
Yeah, they would have approved.
Yeah.
They would have approved.
Yeah.
But, so I'm like, all right. So I called the guy back and he said, why don't you, come in for an interview? And I'm like, okay. And to this day, I do not know how I never applied.
That's crazy.
To that job.
I just got chills.
Yeah, I never applied. I never sent in a resume.
Yeah.
I never gave anyone my phone number. So I have no idea how that guy found me.
Yeah.
And I love them too. That was, I worked at a few schools, but they have a special place in my heart. That is my favorite place that I worked.
They were good to you. It was family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked there for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And I'd have to say that was my favorite place that I worked.
You could go back today and they'd be like, please come back.
Yes.
Like 100%.
If I was going to go back to teaching, that's where I would want to go.
Yeah, like 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, they made me the head hockey coach of their floor hockey team. It was huge. That was big back then.
It was big.
Jewish floor hockey, huge. That's as big as ice hockey in Canada.
Yeah,
okay?
They were serious about it.
They were serious about it.
Oh my gosh.
But so that would be mine.
I would say that's definitely a life-changing moment because spirit interfered. Your grandparents definitely, I would say, were the causes of that one. I mean, it's just too perfect.
No, it is. And my grandfather comes through very strongly. I have a coin. I've said this on the podcast before. I keep going, well, I cannot touch it.
Yeah.
If I touch the coin, he'll come right through me and I'll start to feel real sick.
Some people can channel through metal.
Yeah.
Metal can hold a lot of energy and some people are more sensitive to it.
Yeah. And he was a red blue. Mm-hmm. And even red blues come through very strong.
Yes.
Sometimes people will write to me and they've lost someone. And if it's a red blue that they have lost, sometimes, somehow I have to give them a slot. I know. I don't want to say this.
No, the dead people bother
but they
you.
really will bother me.
They do.
Until I do something.
I know.
And I don't even know why. But I have to do it. It's just I have to. Otherwise, I can't get over the feeling.
Yeah, I know.
So, but anyway, let's read a couple from the Mystic Michaela spiritual family.
So thank you for sharing that, Scott. That's a really beautiful story. And I love that. I just remember that from my own perspective and being like, oh my gosh, thank God he got a job, and being so thankful because that turned you around. Like you became a different, happy, the authentic version of yourself.
Yeah. And I think now my grandfather, when he knew I was done with teaching, I think he's helped me move on to this.
100%.
Awesome. All right.
Cool.
You go first.
All right. So we asked the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family Facebook group to give us their experiences that were spiritual and then changed the course of their lives. And we got so many, just really cool stories. You got to read through them. They're very inspiring. This one's from Kara V. She said, yes, we recently had an opportunity to move and I struggled with the decision. The house number of the potential new house was 777. So I, of course, consulted your angel numbers, and 777 means release fear and embrace the future. This helped me so much because I was fearing making such a big change. I took this as a sign, and we decided to move. A few weeks later, my best friend called me to tell me that she felt I was meant to be in my new house because of the address. This call was totally out of the blue and unprompted, and it felt like a validation for me. I love this because, one, she was already struggling with the decision, do I or don't I? So it was already something that was happening. Two, she saw the numbers, it resonated within her. And then three, her angels followed up through, and this is what angels do, another person who gave her another message of, yep, you made the right choice. In case you didn't know already, we're here and we support you. And I love that. That's awesome. All right, go ahead. Give us yours.
All right, I got one from Janet. Mm-hmm. I like this one because it involved you.
Oh.
So I had just finished 10 months of therapy after suffering from PPD. Mm. Then one day I was sick at home and finding something to binge on Netflix, and my kitchen lights flickered, but nothing went off. Then about 15 minutes later, my daughter's Jesus Loves Me book goes off from her shelf.
Whoa.
It played all the way through. Then it did it again.
A book?
I guess.
Was it like an audiobook?
Maybe it must have been an audiobook,
okay.
Yeah. You have to open... Oh, here's it.
Oh, okay.
You have to open this book to get it to play.
Oh, it's like an animatronic thing. Okay.
Yeah. I was into Velvet's Edge podcast then.
Oh.
And you came on, meaning you, Miss Michaela, like a week after that. Then you opened all the doors.
Oh.
I've gotten my Reiki certificate, and I'm getting my Reiki 2 soon.
I love that.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy. I had PPD too.
Yeah. And she's doing it with someone she met on the page.
Oh, I love when you guys make connections.
Yeah, that's pretty
and
cool.
be best friends. That's my favorite. No, and I talked about that in the Kids Aura episode. I think when you have a baby, when you adopt or foster, even I believe, or when you have one, obviously through your own body, you shift, you change, and you can get a lot more open in different ways, because I feel like when you connect with a little human, you get good at connecting with lots of humans. So that's so cool. And I love that this podcast and this community, because it does allow people to see things differently. And that's all I want to do. I want to, plant whatever seed it is, but that's your seed. You grow it. You know what I mean? And that's your awakening. That's your knowledge. Okay. I got one from Lauren K. When I was in college, I visited Boston and went to the Museum of Art there. They had a room that was full of these huge Buddha statues. I'm talking like 3 lines up on each side and one down, that hallway room in the center. I remember everything taking a pause and just knowing that this was a big, loud sign to me that I needed to learn more about Buddhism. I had previously been pushed into being a Catholic by my mom and knew that wasn't for me, but I needed some sort of spirituality in my life. That moment really shifted things for me, and it's something I will never forget and something that I will always be grateful for and strive toward. I love that.
I love that.
It's just, when it's kind of just like the world stops. It's like, oof, all right, that means something. And she paid attention to it. That's cool.
All right. Well, I think Nancy is just about ready. We got a couple more ads. Oh, wait. I got one more.
Oh, no.
DM
another mean DM?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Am I going to open it?
Oh, jeez.
All right. Oh, here we go. You're not so bad.
Oh.
If you let me pour MIR on you,
oh, no,
I will keep listening and you will be forgiven.
I I think you should take them up on that,
So all
honestly.
I need is a little dog urine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starseeds episode if you don't understand any of that.
Another eggplant from that VP Vanderpump Rules guy.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. That's not so bad.
Those
were okay.
Not so bad.
Those weren't too bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. New sponsor. I'm so into this. I've been using it, and the difference I've been feeling has been phenomenal. I want to share it with you. You know, you don't have to scroll very far down your news feed to find a story about the restorative effects of collagen. I've been hearing it from all my friends all over the place. It's all the rage, but it's way more than just hype. Get the very best collagen on the market from Ancient Nutrition. Listen, Ancient Nutrition has one goal: to transform the health of every individual on the planet with history's most powerful superfoods. Whether you want to improve your body, sharpen your mind, or just feel like your best self, Ancient Nutrition makes supplements that get real results that you can see and feel. All Ancient Nutrition products are made from the highest quality ingredients and are rigorously and repeatedly tested for purity. Their best-selling multi-collagen protein powder includes 5 types of collagen. It is the first and only collagen on the market with clinically studied ingredients proven to help reduce joint discomfort as early as day 1, improve fine lines and wrinkles just after 4 weeks, and transform your overall skin tone after 8 weeks. It's unflavored and dissolves in any liquid. So put a scoop in your morning coffee like I do, your smoothie, or even baked goods. You can't even tell it's in there. You just drink it and go. Proven formulas for real impact. That's what Ancient Nutrition is all about. I've been using it. It's wonderful, and I'm all about making my skin look better, let me tell you. So right now, Ancient Nutrition is offering 20% off your first order when you go to ancientnutrition.com right now and enter promo code KYA at checkout. That's ancientnutrition.com. Enter promo code KYA for 20% off your first order. ancientnutrition.com. Enter promo code KYA at checkout. Oh gosh, I love She's Birdie. I gifted one to my 12-year-old daughter when she goes on her bike rides around the neighborhood. I have a lot more confidence and peace of mind now that she has a personal safety alarm. You know, before you leave the house, you do your checklist for your phone, your keys, your wallet, and it's time to add just one more thing before you walk out the door. Birdie is the newest essential addition to your routine. Birdie is a personal safety alarm designed to be easy to carry and simple to use. When you activate your Birdie with a quick pull, the alarm will emit a loud, and man, it is ear-piercingly loud, 130 decibel siren and flashing strobe light to help you deter an attack. Unlike pepper spray or other deterrents, Birdie is no danger to you. Feel confident to use it without the worry. Birdie goes wherever you go. The alarm comes in multiple cute colors. I got mine in indigo, my aura color. I gave Brie, my daughter, in red for her aura color, and has a brass keychain, so you can attach it to your keys or bag. Over 300,000 Birdie alarms have been sold, and they have thousands of 5-star reviews. Join the flock today for a safer tomorrow. Right now, She's Birdie is offering our listeners 15% off your first purchase when you go to shesbirdie.com/KYA. Such a good gift for your girls, your sisters, your friends, whatever. Go to She's Birdie, spelled SHESBIRDIE.com/KYA for 15% off your first purchase. That's shesbirdie.com/KYA. Right now, so excited to introduce Nancy Anderson of Nancy Anderson Fit, celebrity trainer and nutritionist, and just an overall cool human being. Let's talk to her. Okay, everybody, I am here with Nancy Anderson. She's a celebrity trainer, nutritionist. Has her master's in how do you say that, Nancy?
Kinesiology.
Thank you, kinesiology. And she's a pre- and postnatal expert. She's got over a decade, almost 2, although she doesn't look like it, of experience working in nutrition and fitness. She's also a yellow and purple aura, and she believes in aliens. Hey, Nancy.
Oh, hey.
You're
Let's
our
just
people.
dive straight in. Yes.
Yeah, right?
Thank you so much for having me. It is an honor, honestly.
I'm so glad you're here because let's just get into it. So it's cool because you understand the aura stuff, So when I look at you, I see this explosion of purple. But then I see you your yellow comes kind of in, with, I don't know, if it was a person, it would have like brooms and clipboards and to-do lists. So I feel like you push from the heart and then you structure it as you go. Does that make sense?
Oh my God. That is, yeah, that pretty much sums it up right there, honestly.
How do you,
it is like,
yeah,
it's an explosion of like intuition and creativity. And then my yellow comes in, is like, let's just clean this shit up, you guys, because this is just, it's not going to work. It's like all over the place. Let's put some shelving in.
That's so funny.
File this stuff, yeah.
Tell us
that's
what you
me,
do.
100%.
Like, what is it that you do in like a nutshell?
So, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm a trainer and nutritionist by trade. I specialize with like pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, and post-pregnancy, but I do have clients of all genders and ages and phases of life. I feel like I was really called to like the pregnancy area of a woman's life. So that's the demographic I focus with. So I own a few different fitness apps, Tread Thrill, Move Your Bump, which is pregnancy and post-pregnancy fitness. And then I also have a platform called the Birth Recovery Center, which like my postpartum ab rehab course lives on, and I have nutrition programs, and we're expanding the Birth Recovery Center into being a virtual postpartum care, basically like center, but it's just virtual. So you can get access to experts and programs to help you through everything from sleep training to breastfeeding to parenting
cool.
to mental health, core rehab, birth prep courses. I mean, you name it. So that's launching in a month. But essentially, I'm an entrepreneur and I own a bunch of platforms online. Essentially, that's what I do.
Yeah. Your ab rehab like changed my life. It really did.
Aww.
No, it did. Because I think like for a lot of people, we get overwhelmed and we're like, what the heck? I don't know what to do, like, and you're really good at baby steps. Like, okay, let's get you in here. And there's something about you, like, even though you deal with like a lot of people at once, I always felt like in your programs, like very seen, like one-on-one or something, because I feel like you're in everybody's head. And and you like baby step it out. So that's how I see your purple and yellow kind of work in with what you do too. So what got you started on this journey? Like, I saw you tell some story, and I want to hear it from you because it like gave me chills, because you're very vocal with your followers. You're very much like, this is me, this is my life. You're very authentic, 100%, all that. And you told this story, and you don't usually talk about stuff like that. So I think everyone was probably like, oh, because you're you make everything about us, so like when you were talking about yourself. So anyways, tell us your story. How'd you get into it?
Yeah, so I went to undergrad actually for like textiles, apparel, and merchandising, because I thought like that's what my yellow was like, let's get this shit done. Let's be an interior decorator or a fashion person. But once I got there, I didn't necessarily like love it, but I just thought I had to stay on that path of like what I was doing. So I was doing some fitness stuff on the side, just like for fun and money in college. And like, I wanted to lose weight myself because I had gained like the freshman 15 or whatever. But then my second year in college, my father actually ended up passing away, and he died via suicide. So it kind of set me on this really dark path where I was like lost, and I didn't really know how. I was just being purple and destructive, essentially what I was doing. So I was trying to cope utilizing destructive behaviors and unhealthy things that really could have gotten me in a lot of like trouble down the wrong path. Like, all purple people have that, risk, I guess.
Hell yeah. We get it.
So then one day, I don't know, just one day I woke up and I was just in a dark place. I was losing a bunch of weight. I was having trouble even eating. I was just so stressed, and I was doing bad things. And I was like, I just need to go for a run, which was weird because like I didn't really like run, so to speak.
Right.
And during that run, I had kind of like this emotional release. And I was like, that feels like kind of good to like get those things like out, And it was honestly not me. It was something else. And I don't talk about this a lot because it's a weird space when you're like a kinesiologist, right? Like everything I do is based off of science. The nutrition I do is based off of science. The kinesiology protocols, the physical therapy protocols are all based off of science, So then when I come in and I talk about my intuition and my spirituality, and I talk about I had this life-changing experience where like my higher self was talking to me, and then I realized I needed to be on this journey, it just gets a little weird. So I typically don't talk and share much about that. But, I started having these emotional, like spiritual experiences while I was running. But there were always like little dibbles and, just like a little like word, a little like phrase, a little aha moment. And I always figured it was like endorphins or whatever. But I started running longer and longer and longer. Before you know it, I was running half marathons and full marathons. And then I decided to sign up for like races. And I just felt really good when I ran. So I just kept running. It wasn't about looking a certain way or even being healthy. It was purely mental health for me. just because I was going through a lot with grieving my dad's death. So I signed up for this race, and I was running the race, and it was like a big deal for me to like actually participate in a race. And as I was crossing the finish line, and even to this day, I still like almost get like choked up over it because it was so real and so emotional. And those of you that have had experiences like this, you like get it, but I literally had someone whisper in my ear. I don't know if it was a spirit guide. I don't know if it was like my higher self. I don't know if it was like my dad, because at that point he had been like dead for like 2 years or whatever. I don't know what it was, but something told me as I was crossing the finish line, like it's like emotional talking about. It's like,
okay.
I realized that I had like healed and grieved.
Wow.
A really traumatic thing that had happened in my life. And it like clicked, and it was just like a voice in my head that was like, you must share this with others.
Wow.
Essentially.
Oh my God.
And I started like crying, and I had my cell phone on me, and I remember I was like crying, like, and I called my sister, and I was like crying to her, and she's like, oh, what happened? Like, did you get injured? Like, did you get lost? Like, where are you? And I'm like, no. Like, I have to quit. I have to do this. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, Dad just told me, or someone just told me, like in my ear, that this is what I have to like do for a living now. Like I have to quit my job and go back to school. And she was like, okay, where are you? Let me
come get you. Are you drunk? On? Yeah.
But literally that was a pivotal moment in my life where I quit my job. I applied to a master's program. I went back. It was like nothing. It was so clear that nothing was going to stop me from doing that. I went into a master's program. I quit. I went into fitness full time. I had been dabbling on the side for a few years just as like a hobby kind of thing. And that was how I got started on my fitness journey. It was literally an out-of-body spiritual experience. They told me I needed to do it. It resonated so much. I knew I needed to do it. I quit everything, and I went down that path. And now this is 16 years later. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. The first thing is, it probably was your dad, because you keep bringing up dad. It was dad or somebody. You keep going back to dad. Do you really feel like it was your dad?
Yeah, I mean, that, or there's a spirit guide, Abraham, that was like around for like a long time during that period. And I would get like messages from him in my left ear only.
Oh my God.
And it was in my left ear. So part of me thinks it was him.
It was him.
Because like right after, I had been like really tapping into like that side, like doing stuff. And it was like very clear experiences with him, Abraham. I don't think he's actually like assigned to me anymore. Like I think something happened where like I transitioned out of time with him. Or,
that was your segment of time with him or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Because I don't really feel that connection anymore. But at that time, if I had to say it was anyone, it probably was either Abraham, because I feel like he was to like get me on that path at that time, or it was probably my dad.
That's crazy. My spirit guide's name is Sean. But I don't even on here, I don't really talk about it a lot, because I realize it sounds nuts, and
it sounds nuts.
Yeah. And I want people to like embrace spirituality at their own pace or where they're at. And sometimes when you talk about, oh, I hear voices or I see this, it's like, okay, like don't be worried if that didn't happen yet, because like I think what you're saying is you were in a point where, one, you were working on it. 2, something absolutely tragic happened to you. So you were bottomed out.
Yeah.
And then you were just, I mean, it took like 2 years, and then you're like really like boom, like an explosion of change. So yes. I just think with people, when they're listening to this, it's like, we're not crazy. And I always say this all the time, like if you think it sounds crazy, that means you're not crazy, because crazy people don't think that they're crazy.
Right.
So
that's a good point.
Yeah. It's like I go to that a lot.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I actually don't really talk about it. Right. Because I want people to like respect me as the professional I am. Yes. I mean, like I'm established. Everything. I don't like do anything woo-woo with my clients. It's very science-based, but this is my truth, and I'm not crazy. This has been my life. Like I have had a lot of experiences where something very spiritual has happened, or, I've seen ghosts that I believe that were really ghosts, yes. And this is my reality. It's very real to me. I have no mental health issues. I never have. this is my religion. I mean, honestly, you know, and like I would respect someone else's religion, even if I think it's out there. And, you know, there's plenty of things, even in Christianity, that I'm like, really, guys, like, really, that's a little out there.
And think about
you
that.
know, so yeah. And I think the same thing with me is maybe it's not as like widely accepted, but this is my truth. And if you think I'm nuts, that's cool. Like,
yeah,
I'm cool with it.
Well,
you know,
everybody listening doesn't think that because they're here anyways. So, but like
true.
and they believe in auras and they see them too. So it's all good here. I also think it's interesting how you're talking about you were going through a lot of self-destructive stuff. And I love that you turned it into something, like you transmuted it. Like you transmuted that like pain. And I think it is a purple person thing and maybe just a person thing too on different levels where if we don't know what to do with it, we, I don't know, filter it through our own selves. And that you took that and you're like, okay, if I'm going to feel bad, I'm just going to run. I'm going to run it out. And I, just because I've done your coaching, you know, with Tread Thrill and stuff like that, I've noticed that even though you keep it very, okay, this is, you know, coaching and don't jump the rails. And you're like, your coaching's great. I always get like the subtext, or at least that I don't think I'm reading into it. This is me like, Nancy's doing spiritual stuff, you know, but you could read it on any level. But but how do you incorporate this stuff that you've picked up, you know, like through running as a metaphor or through just being healthy or through taking this energy and transmuting it and getting control over your life? Like how do you merge those two worlds together?
Yeah, so Tread Thrill is a fitness app that I own for those you don't know. And it's all choreographed coaching. So it's done to music and it's very high energy. It's high intensity interval training. And that's really the one avenue that I really have kind of branched in my like spiritual, you know, like segues and coaching and stuff, because I feel it's so easy to blend in without people thinking like, oh, she's like trying to get all like woo woo on us, you know? And honestly, like when someone's in that state of mind, they're so easily motivated in a spiritual way because they're at this point that like they're so uncomfortable, they're so outside their comfort zone, they're vulnerable, right?
Yes.
So when you add it in, like just layer it in like a little bit, sprinkle it in a little bit, then it's like it resonates so much with them because of the exertion point that they're at in that moment. I've noticed as like a coach and also with myself because I do it. And when it comes to energy, like I think, you know, something maybe valuable for people that are listening is to me, and what it's always kind of been, and it took trial and error to like learn this, but energy, regardless of whether it's negative or positive energy, is energy. Yeah. So if it's something terrible has happened to you and you have all this sadness or anger or frustration or negative energy around it, it might feel negative, but you can funnel that into any energy that you want because it's just energy, you know? So, you know, when I was younger, I funneled a lot of like anger and frustration and hatred and sadness and, you know, sort of like a victim mentality. And I funneled that into getting to like my goals and like, I don't know if you were transmuting it or manifesting or like whatever. But I would just like, I mean, it was like a habit in my head. I was like, I hate that guy so much. I'm going to make him jealous by like looking like this or acting like, it was like stupid stuff when I was little, you know, but then I just realized like I can change energy into like I could take anything negative energy and have that fuel me and then get something positive out of it later. You know what I mean? And I think that's really important to know because I feel like sometimes in life you get stuck in these really negative like cycles where you just feel like everything, you're just like attracting negativity or attracting like bad luck or like whatever. But really, if you just like understand that energy is the same energy, you're just perceiving it a certain way. But if you just, you know, bring it in and funnel it somewhere else, you can funnel it into something really good or a much more positive outcome. Wow. At least that's my experience.
Yeah, I like that. And I like that like you create like controlled environments for your clients and stuff to have a challenge, to get vulnerable, to hear to be able to hear it. And then like, okay, now you go about your day. I think it's interesting too what you're saying, because like we all have these filters and we go through, we live in the same world, but we have different filters. So we're all experiencing things based on our filters. And some of the filters like we can't control, like how we look or things like that. But some of them we can, like how we're going to respond, or like, okay, we're not going to be a victim today, or like whatever. And I love that you're saying, you know, make the choice, make the choice. And it's something that it's called reality shifting. It's not my own thing. It's something that's, it's what you're talking about. Like you can start the day out bad, and then all that's going to happen to you is more bad things are going to keep like attracting it. And then you're going to make the bad choices because you're on that bad vibe. But then you can like stop, get mindful, which is super uncomfortable, and then like switch it around. But it's such a habit. What do you notice with like with their habits of thinking? Because you deal with people's like subconscious constantly screwing them over. How do you help people with that?
Yeah, I mean, for my clients, some people just aren't ready. So I think that sometimes, you know, you have to have a season of, you know, sadness, or you have to experience that, right? And like something has to trigger you, or you have to be ready to like shift the energy, shift your reality, shift your perspective, you know, shift your choices that you're making. I just try to, as like a trainer, I just try to plant the seeds to maybe be that trigger that's going to help that person have a different perspective, or just like have that aha moment where like, I guess I don't have to look at it like, oh, they don't believe in me, because I actually love myself and I actually believe in myself. And like, that's enough to like take me to the next step or the next level. And that's the kind of the seeds I try to plant when I'm coaching. Because those are the things that I would do for myself when I was in that season. So, I mean, I think some of it's timing, and I think some of it is just, you know, putting yourself in an environment with people that can inspire that change. And whether it's a workout, or it's a, I don't know, church group, or an art class, or anything, I think sometimes people get stuck in this, like, you know, this environment of like everyone around you is not really helping you. They're kind of like keeping you on that lower vibe, you know? So I just ruled people out. Like I couldn't, you know, it's like, I want to surround myself with people that are higher vibe than me, that are going to actually lift me up. Right. Because I want to be happy, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, and I don't want to think the world is full of fear and hatred. And like, so I just eliminate mainstream media. I eliminate people on social media that post negative stuff all the time. Like people in my life, my own like family, see ya. Like, at a certain point, if you're ready to make that change and you want to have a more positive, you know, an outcome or environment, you have to be ready to kind of, you know, trim the fat, or like whatever you would say.
Yeah. And that's a hard thing to do too. Like just in life, and then like with yourself, I think. So you probably just get a lot of people at crossroads or transitional moments and things like that. But, but what I like about you is that you, I don't know, this is why, you know, with you, you're always, I just feel like you wouldn't tell anybody to do anything you didn't do. So like, I did this episode a couple episodes ago about imposter syndrome, and I actually like just learned about it. Like I guess it's been out there. I didn't know, you know, so I like learned about it, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, and then some people are like experts or whatever. Like they have to do everything perfectly.
So they're putting on a front, and they're not really that person.
Yeah, that can be it. Yeah. But then some people have imposter syndrome, like where they shouldn't have it. Like they pretend like what imposter syndrome is if you're in a space like where people are like, oh my gosh, Nancy, we're listening to you, and we're like, what do we do? And what do I do? And what do I do now? And do you ever feel like weirded out by that, or like unworthy, or like, oh my gosh, like, because even the way that you express, like, I try to plant seeds, or I try to give the power back to them. I feel like that's your humility or something coming through. So I'm wondering if that ever but then I see other people who I won't name who are like out there, and they're like, oh my God, you're welcome for you losing 5 pounds or whatever. And like, I don't see you, you know what I mean? Or like, you lost weight, tag me because I did it for you, you know, like that. I don't know. Like, I see it in my world all the time. So
yeah, no, totally. I don't resonate with that at all. What's fulfilling for me as like a coach is simply giving someone the knowledge and the tools for them to apply to get where they want to be. whatever that is. Like it's not up to me to say like what you should look like or feel like or how healthy you should be. It's my job to give you the tools to get where you want to be based off of your own goals. And no one got you there except for you. Mm-hmm. I just gave you the education and maybe some support to get there, but you did the work, right? So as a professional, any professional that provides a service for someone, I would never want to rob that from one of my clients, because the easy part is buying the information and buying the coaching and learning it. The hard part is applying it, and I can't apply it for you. You have to do that yourself. So when someone accomplishes something, like when you did the ab rehab and fixed your pelvic floor issues, mm-hmm. kudos goes to you. Yay. Because you trusted me, which takes a lot for someone to do. It's a vulnerable thing, especially for my clients in the season of life that most of them are in. Mm. It's hard to trust. It's hard to take time for self-care, and it's hard to stick with something long enough for it to work. And when my clients do that, really the kudos should go to them, not me.
Yeah. That's in my opinion. I resonate with what you do. Like, cause I just see, but like just in my world too, like the spirit, like a lot of, everything you're saying is like what I try to do too for people. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, I can give you a reading, but like, you're the one that's got to go apply it or figure it out or like whatever. Yeah. I'm just trying to help you see yourself, the stuff that's already there, and I think, and some people like the ego gets in the way and then if, I don't know, like, because like you said, like when you make the accomplishment, you have to feel proud of it so you can continue it. Like you didn't link it to somebody else or whatever.
Yes.
It has to be internal. It's not going to work if it's external.
And that's going to contribute to like self-confidence and self-love and all these things that are really important for my clients to have. And I don't know. I feel like that's just really 3D to be that kind of trainer or professional where you're just like, you're just fulfilling your own cup. It's like, no, I want to fill up their cup. Yeah. Like that's why they're here. They need help. They need to feel better. So yeah, but I see that a lot too, like in my field, and it's just like so annoying. It's just like,
I see it all the time in your
Body
field.
by Jen. And it's like Body by Jen.
Right.
Her name's Megan. She's the client. You know what I mean? Like, what does that even mean?
Like, there's this boutique fitness place around here that's local. And the woman, I mean, she just thinks she's, the next, give me like
Tracy Anderson.
Thank you. Yeah, her. I don't even know their names of her. But like, she's just local, but like anybody on my Facebook group that's like, like, yay, I have a bicep. And she's immediately in the comments, like, you're welcome. It's just like, and it's like, but that's why you're not going to level up. Like, don't you want to level up? You know what I mean? Like, don't you want to help more people, or do you need the attention? Yep. And I think like, that's another thing. Like if you want to level up, your ego has got to get like pushed down, which I don't think a lot of people understand. Like if you want to raise up, the ego is going to get like beat the crap out of, because like when you were going through all like your spiritual transformation and you're like, okay, I'm going to quit and I'm going to go into this, like where was your ego at that point? Was it kind of shattered on the floor?
Totally.
Like, yeah.
It was like an ego. I mean, I've had so many ego deaths, but that was like a big one. That was a really big one, because I had envisioned this, like I lived in New York City and I was a buyer for like Nordstrom, and I was like doing all this like fashion week stuff, and like, or I was like an interior designer, like designing these celebrity homes. Like, so it's just really low vibe, like looking back on it. But once you lose all that, I mean, back then it was so hard for me to swallow the fact that I had just spent 4 years getting a bachelor's degree that I owed $60,000 on student loans when I was going in to be a personal trainer. That's really where I started, that I could literally have done when I was 16 without a high school degree. I mean, that's like hard on the ego, right? Because you think that like, oh, I have this college education, I need to like have this certain whatever. I Googled it, like the average salary for a personal trainer when I started, and it was like $19,000 a year. Yeah. And I was just like, I have to do it. Like I felt so called after that experience. Well, I was like, well, F it. Like, I guess I'll bartend on the weekends. Like, I don't know. Like, I have to do this though.
Figure it out.
It wasn't like about the money.
Yeah.
But it was a leap of faith. And I just like, I'm just going to figure it out as I go. And I'm going to make a living eventually doing this. And here we are.
Yeah, and deal with everyone's like perceptions of it at the time. But now you and your husband work together. This is like a totally wonderful, big, huge, successful thing that you've grown all yourself. You're a self-proclaimed workaholic. That's your yellow.
Yes.
And
so true.
Your yellow just like keeps you up at night. Like you're not done yet and all that. You're probably always coming up with ideas and thinking and all the time. I always say like yellow, purples. I just feel like they have it the hardest in terms of not being able to relax. Like I feel like it's just the war, the battle all day long. But they get stuff done. But you guys never pat yourselves on the back about it at all.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person where it's like I'll set this goal. I'm like, I want to hit like this many clients or this whatever, and then I hit it, and then I don't even say like great job, like let's celebrate. I'm just like, okay, now I want to do this, and I just move the bar higher, and that's been my life for the last 16 years. So
it's working,
but it works.
All right, we have to talk about these ghosts. All right, I need to hear. All right, I saw my first ghost I saw when I was 8. How old were you, would you say?
I had some experiences when I was really young but they were more like energy balls, like floating around the house. But like actual, like looked like a translucent human being. The first time that happened, I was 20 after my dad died.
Wow. Do you feel like after he passed, you had a closer bond with the other side?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I became like obsessed with reading near-death experience books, and that totally shattered. I grew up Lutheran. I was raised Lutheran, like every Sunday in Sunday school, in church, Bible school. I mean, confirmation, first communion. I did it all. Like that was how I grew up. And I had a lot of questions that like never really got answered. Like I asked like these questions, and like pastors like trust in whatever.
Like,
I'm like,
that's a lot, Nancy.
But things started making so much sense when I started reading these near-death experience books. I'm like, this resonates. This is starting to resonate with like.
I don't know. It just cracks me up. I know, just because keep going. I get it though. Yes.
Yeah. So I became obsessed with that. And then after he died, I was like, I want to see mediums to try to like connect with him. And then they would start bringing up other stuff. And then I became intrigued, and it was just a snowball effect that I just kept going and going and going. So yeah, I just really dove deep, and it would go in like waves. I'd be like really into it for 5 years, then I'd back off for like a year, and then I'd be really into it, and then I would back off. And, yeah, I mean, over the years, I've done, all kinds of stuff, tons of readings. I've seen you for readings. I've done hypnosis, past life regressions, all kinds of stuff.
And it like, now you're naturally intuitive. I hear that a lot too with a lot of purple people. Like they just, from a very young age, it's like, I know there's more and you're not talking about it. Like that kind of just feeling or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, so when you were 20, after your dad passed and you saw your first ghost, like what did you see? Like what was the scenario?
It was him, which is
oh my gosh,
like crazy.
That's pretty
intense. It was basically, so I was dating this guy, Jared, at WVU, and I was at his house, West Virginia University. I did my undergrad. It was about a year after my dad passed away. I was over his house on like a Wednesday night. We were watching a movie, not a scary movie, just something on TV. I was sitting on the couch. He was sitting on the couch, and there was a big bay window that went out to the front yard, to the right of the TV. So the TV was like in the corner, and then there was a bay window to the right of it, and it was open. The blinds were up, and it was at night, like 9, 10 o'clock at night. So it was dark outside. And I, I wasn't thinking about my dad a lot. I wasn't really missing him at that point. It had been a while. I had been distracted myself with other things, and it wasn't like I was like obsessing over him in any way, which is one of the reasons why I don't think it was like my mind playing tricks on me, because I hadn't been thinking about him. I hadn't been talking about him. I hadn't been dreaming about him. I mean, nothing, and out of like nowhere, I see someone walking up on the front lawn and out of like the corner of my eye, because I'm watching the TV. And then I look over out of the bay window, and my dad is standing there on the front lawn.
Oh my God.
Like translucent, but like very clearly in human form, with a hat on. Just in a typical outfit that he would have worn. And he wasn't sad. He wasn't mad. He was literally just watching me.
Wow.
And so I got that he had been traveling around and, living, he was still like on this plane or dimension or on Earth, but just kind of like visiting and taking things in before he was leaving. And
yeah.
This moment was like the last moment because he was leaving.
God. Oh, I have chills. How did you feel? Did you feel good, sad, just neutral? Like
I was so scared. Like I screamed basically, and I jumped up and I started screaming like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And Jared, this guy I was dating, he was like an asshole, honestly. And he was like, "What's going on?" I'm like, my dad is on the lawn. Like my dad is on the lawn. He's outside. And I was freaking out. I was pacing back and forth, and I was like, and he just blew me up. He was like, "Oh, you're just making things up." The typical response that you get from people that are non-believers,
Yeah, but
I'm not making this up. I'm like, he was out there. He was out there, Jared. And, he just was like, "Okay, let's just calm down." And I went to the kitchen and I started freaking out. It took me a long time to get settled, and it has stuck with me. I mean, that was 15 years ago. It has stuck with me. I can remember the exact moment,
That's
exactly what
amazing.
I felt, exactly what communication, nonverbal communication happened.
Yeah, that's important.
How he looked, it was a very real experience. And there's been other experiences where you think you see something, but you're not really sure, and you're just probably was a reflection or something. This was not that. This was 100%.
Of course, yeah, and it's different than an orb, like you said, you saw him.
Yeah.
Wow. And I think it's
in a lot of detail.
Yeah. So that, and then that you remember your specific emotional response, and then also the nonverbal communication, all those things is that's a spirit encounter. You absolutely had that moment. I just think somewhere, somehow Jared has an alternate version of this story about, let me tell you this story about Nancy Anderson. In his wonderful life. I'm sure he's not living. My parents live in, it's just interesting what you say, and hope this is okay to talk about. It's a little sensitive with suicide. No, okay.
Yeah.
Because my parents live in a house where the previous owners, and we know them, their son, their 20-ish year old son, killed himself in the basement. And my sister is younger than me, and she doesn't do work like this, but she actually sees dead people as if they're still alive. It's a different gift than I have. She can actually see them. She doesn't really get message, but she sees them, and she knows they're. Does that make sense? They look like people to her. And then the way that I deal with mediumship is that I sense them and see them in my third eye. So I very rarely I've actually seen them with my physical eyes.
Okay.
So what's interesting, what you just said, is that your dad was kind of taking time and wandering and stuff like that. I see that a lot. If you believe me, in my own mediumship with people who've committed suicide, that it's a choice to cross over, because the kid, the 20-year-old who lives he's still there. Because he wants to be, because he was comfortable there, and he needs time, and he liked the basement. It was a nice, that was his space. And when he wants to go, he'll go, because my sister always sees him down there. And every time I visit, I sense him, and I smell things and stuff. And it's just, so I just feel I wonder if that, we don't know everything, but I do feel it's a choice to cross over to what's next.
Yeah, and I don't really think that time as we see it, wow, why would he want to be in the basement for 20 years or whatever? But in outside of this reality, does time really even exist? Right. I mean, who knows what time really is? So it's easy to say, well, there's just no way they would be stuck down there for that long. But really, to them, it might not be long at all.
Yeah, and he's not upset. He's a happy energy. It's not scary or anything. It's not even creepy. He's just chill, and he just wants to be kind of chill. It's just a chill feeling. And for us, we're just oh, yeah, it's cool. We don't, that's his place. It's all right. You work with your husband, and he's a green. So how does that work?
A lot of marriage counseling.
Stop. No. You two are so cute together. You do all your TikToks. He's such a good sport. Like, he's like so funny.
He's a great sport. He is a great sport. And I'm always like, Max, like, I'm like, I want to make this like TikTok with you. And it basically is like a TikTok making fun of him, you know? And I'm like, sometimes people get like pissed and they'll like write me like, you're so mean to your husband. I can't believe you like, you know, play jokes on him like this or whatever. And sometimes I'll tell Max and he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm crying all the way to the bank over it, you know, cause like he gets it. Like it's part of like what we do. It's part of like the branding and like getting to know us as like content creators and entrepreneurs and stuff. But, you know, he was in commercial real estate before he came on board with working for me. I just got so busy, kind of probably similar to you and Scott. Like I just got so busy. I really needed someone to come on board that I could really trust because it's really, I mean, you have access to like so much, you know, and, it can make or break your business if you have a good partner, not good partner. So I really thought he was a good candidate because he just really complimented my skill set. So I asked him to come on board and to quit his job, and he basically did. So now we run it together, and we work full time together. And it's not easy. Given a purple and a green, I mean, I don't know. It's definitely difficult and also amazing at the same time. So it's just, you know, this balance where you have to really work on communication styles because I'm so intuitive that like I say a lot of things and make a lot of business decisions based off my intuition, purely intuition. And he does not resonate with that. He wants logical reasons. He wants systems. He wants to know, like, what evidence do I have to prove that this is the right decision to make? And I don't really have any, Max.
Right.
I'm just telling you, inside here, it's saying that we need to do this. So let's do that. You know what I mean? And, you know, most of the time I am, you know, sometimes I'm wrong, but most of the time I'm onto something, you know? So it's been learning for both of us to like, how do I, you know, play on both sides of the fence here, the green fence and the purple fence, you know, honor who I am and my intuition while also, you know, making things make sense from a business standpoint, you know, of money and, you know, risk and all this other stuff. So it's fun and challenging. And, you know, we just try to do our best, you know,
he's good at tech, you know, like I think that's, I always joke with Scott, we need to make it an MMF relationship or something. Like I just need a green or whatever, an MFF. I don't know if I'd be into that, but I need a green person here. I just need somebody green who can do tech. Cause that's like, Scott's really good, like with the business and like, he's good with like I trust him and all that kind of stuff you're talking about. Yeah. Like I can just be like, here, just do this. I can't deal and he'll do it and all that. But none of us know how to like make anything look good or, you know, make something wrong. And like, I remember when we first were in contact, you're like, oh, you know, that's when like Tread Thrill was kind of coming up and like Max built it. I'm like, who builds an app like that? And you're like, oh, he did it. He stayed up all night one night. I'm like, that is so flippin' cool. And so like how a green person shows their love. You know what I mean? Like he believes in you and he believes in your idea and he's going to give all of his time and energy and brain to it. I thought that was like so romantic in a green person way.
Yeah, that's definitely his love language is, you know, I will throw stuff over the fence to him all the time like that. Cause I do not have time for that ish. Yeah. Like it's just so draining to me. I want nothing to do with that side like of the business. So I just like, I toss it over to him and I'm like, hey, I need you to build something like this or like make this course. And then when it's ready for the content, then you come to me and then I will make it look great and have all the copy and stuff. But yeah, I mean, really, we just try to play each other's strengths because I don't know, I wouldn't be able to do it without him. You know, a lot of people think that he's like my like side chick in the business. You know, it's like he's like my assistant or something.
Oh, that's funny. No,
like, dude, no, like he's building the platforms that I put products on that we sell. Like he is like, if we ever had to get divorced or whatever, he deserves half of it. I'll say it right now. Like he fully deserves it because it's so much work and the tech part of it when you're running a digital business is huge. So Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, he's so good at that stuff. I don't know.
I think about you guys a lot because this is our first year, Scott and I, working together. Like, because he stopped teaching and they're like, okay, we're going to do it together. We can do it together. We can pull it off now. And I'm just like, well, Nancy and Max have been doing this. So I have to ask her how. But yeah, I've noticed that too, like communication. Like, okay, instead of me just, I don't know, having my moment, I'm going to speak very vulnerably to you. This is how I'm doing. This is how I'm feeling. This is where I'm going. You decide. Like, it's almost like over the top self-explanation. That's what I find myself doing a lot, so that nothing's misinterpreted or I don't know.
That's smart because I don't actually do that. I didn't do that in the past, and it definitely causes a lot of issues because it's just a poor communication. I'm communicating how I want to communicate. He's communicating, and we're just missing each other, you know?
Yeah, that can happen.
So then I'm taking something wrong, but like he means it in a different way.
Yeah.
So that's something that we actually really been working on the past like couple years is just to communicate in the way that like he needs to be communicated to and vice versa.
Yeah.
So to keep our communication channels like clear.
Yeah.
Because when you're running businesses together, you can really interrupt productivity when there's a communication issue between the partners.
That's so smart. You just said it so smartly. Like, I'm just like, that's so true though. And you're
really
a perfectionist
is,
and he's a perfectionist in his own way, but you have different views of what perfection probably is. So it's kind of like, oh, like that can be interesting. Yeah. Okay, Nancy, thank you so much for coming out. Where do we find you?
You can find me at nancyanddersonfit.com. You can also find me, if you just search nancyanddersonfit.com, you'll see all my stuff pretty much pop up. But I'm also on Instagram at nancyanddersonfit as well. Thank
you so much again. And I have to just one more time say, and this is just like, I tell anybody I can, because when I say life-changing, like your ab rehab, and I want to say 4 years postpartum, and it worked. And it like, I don't know, like I always go back to it, you know? So it's just something that like I get emotional talking about it even because I don't know I'm sure you hear this all the time, but it's like my own testimonial. Like sometimes like you just live with something, which was me with like I don't even know, like I couldn't like running or jumping or sneezing, you know, or getting up in the middle of the night to pee like all the time after the second baby who was like way too big for me. And God bless her, and she was healthy, so I feel grateful and all that, but still. And then, so I was just like, okay, whatever, I guess this is my life. And then I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just try her program and see how that, and I'm like, oh my God, like within a few weeks, I'm like, oh my God, I slept through the night without getting up 3 times? Like, what is this? And it was just crazy, and I just felt very grateful to you for putting it out there.
Well, thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you for trusting us. And really, I mean, a lot of times I run a lot of social media ads and we do a lot of marketing and stuff. And, you know, a lot of times people will comment on ads or whatever and say stuff like, you know, oh, it's not about like having abs again or like looking a certain way. And that's really not my goal. My goal really is to provide healing and a quality of life for moms. And I want them to feel like they're thriving. And no one is thriving if you can't fully control your bowels. No one is thriving if you're having extreme pain with sex. No one is thriving if your back hurts all the time or you don't feel good when you look in the mirror or when you put on clothes and you're just really unhappy with your body, you know? And everyone's goals are different. Sometimes they want to look a certain way. Sometimes they want to feel a certain way. Some want to function a certain way. But whatever that is, that mom or woman should have affordable tools to be able to heal, and they should have experts that are accessible to them. And that is the problem I am trying to solve. So it means so much when people like have testimonials like you do, because it's really not about looking in the mirror. Like sure for some, but most of the time it's about exactly what you were saying is improving quality of life. And a lot of times women don't know that it's not normal and don't know that it can be fixed. And that's part of what we want to do is raise awareness of the fact that like, hey, these are very common issues. They're not normal. It's dysfunction. It can be fixed pretty simply and pretty quickly with the right tools and having access to experts. So
it didn't even take that long really for me to start seeing results. Well, thank you. Thank you for being a light worker that you are, for putting that all in us. And I appreciate you. And thank you so much, Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family. Go check out Nancy Anderson on her Instagram. And Thank you. This podcast is for you and about you, and you all take care.
If you want to be the most interesting person at the cocktail party, well, hop on over and listen to the Brain Candy podcast.
Our award-winning content will have you laughing while you're learning.
We read all the best articles, books, and studies, and keep up with new TV shows, documentaries, and pop culture. And then we cram it all into 2 shows a week.
Conspiracy theories, cannibal rabbits, unsolved mysteries, the history of the Walkman. There's something for everyone.
The Brain Candy podcast. Find our link in the show notes.
Or simply search for the Brain Candy podcast on your podcast app.